Welcome back to the Celtics Nation Rise account. I'm Griffin Aldrich. Alongside me, we have David Caires, and we have some breaking news. Jayson Tatum is questionable for the Boston Celtics. Let's just pull up the injury report really quick. Injury report for tomorrow versus Dallas. Jayson Tatum, Achilles, questionable. Wow, David. Wow. Wow. I have to say, even if this is the case, you were hoping that Hornets game last night, that was your initial guess, but we'll take Cooper Flagg versus Jayson Tatum as well. Cooper Flagg gonna be coming back. His homecoming, I was talking to everyone. I think Tommy might be going to the game as we saw from our group chat. But I was even looking at tickets because even from the perspective of Cooper Flagg, let alone Tatum. Then we get this news about Jayson Tatum. I mean, balcony, David, we're at like 150 when I was looking. So I definitely won't be able to go to that one. But what are your initial thoughts after we hear Jayson Tatum is questionable?
Yeah, so on that last point, while you were talking about that, I just pulled up Game Time, which is my app of choice when buying tickets. It's like Ticketmaster fees without the added on tickets. And yeah, they are treating this like it's a playoff game when it's game 62 of the regular season for the Celtics. 200, the lowest price balcony seat is $210.
Holy cow! So it's just went up.
And there's a seat in like the row 14 or 15 of the balcony that is $308, which is insane. The closer you get, it goes down. I don't understand why apps work like that, but I'm seeing tickets like $500, $400 for lower level. So the hype is certainly there, Griffin, as you said. Really crazy to be doing this video not even 10 months after the injury happened. I actually just rewatched that video yesterday that me and you did of the recap of game four when we were both very salty. Go ahead.
I'm getting flashbacks, David. This is a full circle moment. We were just talking about this with Spencer Martin. You guys go check out that podcast. Going to be out probably like a few hours after this, and main Celtics broadcaster. But you're right, David. You and I literally broke that news. Now we're breaking the news that he's questionable. Crazy, crazy.
Crazy full circle moment in less than a year. I mean, that game will live in infamy in Celtics history for obviously what happened. And I remember me and you both came on and were pretty salty about that, not really caring about the end result, but just caring about what the future looked like. And I mean, the term gap year was thrown around a lot this summer, was thrown around a lot, certainly after those first three games when the Celtics started 0-3. But this has been anything but a gap year. And it may not be crazy to say that the Celtics get the biggest post trade deadline acquisition in the NBA and Jayson Tatum returning hypothetically or probably tomorrow night. Um, yeah, I mean, it's already been said by pretty much everyone, but this is just not even a thought of being able to happen last May, not even 10 months to the date. We're less than 10 months to the date, like 9 months and 3 weeks since his tragic injury. Jayson Tatum is coming back, which is incredible. And he's going to be with the Celtics for the home stretch. We got 20 more games to go. Hopefully, another long playoff run. I mean, nobody could have pictured this, but yeah, we're here now, and this just adds a wrinkle to the NBA playoff picture and just gives the Celtics a much needed enforcement because any Jayson Tatum that the Celtics were able to get this season, we thought would be a plus. And yeah, I mean, the moment has finally come that we've been manifesting for months. So this is just insane.
So, David, I want to ask you this question. Is it safe to say that Tatum's coming back tomorrow, or do you think there's still a little bit of a doubt?
Yeah.
Because
So
because against the Hornets too, it was game time decision for a while, and then it was like, no. But tomorrow, is it safe to say that Tatum's coming back? What do you think?
um, is it
What
safe
are
to
the odds? Like, where would you put them? 67%?
Oh, you stole. I was literally just about to say that. You stole what I was going to say. 67%. Yeah, I would say there's with all the hype and you know fan behavior towards this announcement, I would say it's safe to say he's returning. But Shams was pretty slick with that announcement. I don't know if you saw the way he worded it, where he's like, Jayson Tatum is expected to play the season and might return on Friday. So Shams is hedging his bet because he doesn't want to come out and say Tatum's coming back tomorrow for sure. In the event that Tatum does not come back, because then people are just going to, dunk on Shams and he's going to lose credibility. So that was very slick reporting from Shams there and make sure he doesn't go all in on saying that Tatum's coming back. But I feel like it's happening. Shams also said in that report that Tatum will give the Celtics an answer by the end of today on if he feels good enough to give it a go tomorrow. I think it's going to be happening. They wouldn't, because he said he always wanted to come back for a home game. I believe, I believe we go on the road right after this game against Dallas tomorrow night. So he wouldn't be questionable until the 14th, which is our next home game against the Wizards. So, that's like 10 days of being questionable in the injury report. That just doesn't happen. Not
So
only in the
he's coming
NBA,
back. He's coming back tomorrow.
So, yeah, to summarize my answer in a short way, yes, I believe he is 100% coming back tomorrow.
Yeah, and I have to say this, it's crazy because I don't even think DeJounte Murray is back from his Achilles. Maybe he is. I don't know if you know that one, but I know um, Damian Lillard obviously is still not back, and he suffered the Achilles tear before Tatum. But I think this shows how aggressive and how well Tatum has approached this whole entire process. And of course, it makes me like, no DeJounte Murray back and no Damian Lillard. But again, there's a thing between Damian Lillard and Tatum, and that is, you look at it, the age for one, for two, where they are at in their careers. And like Tyrese Halliburton, we can't even talk about that one because I think he has shingles, right? Something like that along the lines. And on top of that, that happened in the NBA Finals, so a couple of weeks after this. But Tatum is coming back probably tomorrow, and not only just Jayson Tatum, like I mentioned earlier, against Cooper Flagg as well, which I think it was a smart decision by them because you think on a Friday night, it's almost already going to be a sellout. You add in Cooper Flagg, you have all the main heads like me wanting to go to the game. And then, so I have to say, I was thinking about it. If I ever want to watch Cooper Flagg play, I'm going to either have to go to Brooklyn or I'm just going to have to wait till next year. But on top of that, you also have Jayson Tatum, who I think is coming back tomorrow, David. It's going to be a fun one. And do you want to add anything else onto this? Because I'm excited. And again, it's interesting with the other Achilles. I think DeJounte Murray, I don't know if he's been back or not yet. Do you know anything along those lines?
I'm not sure
Let me
regarding
check real
Murray,
quick.
but I think a lot of things went right, and it was a lot had to do with timing and our situation for Tatum to be able to come back. I do believe. I mean, first of all, you hit the nail on the head with talking about Lillard. He is almost 10 years. He's like 8 years older than Tatum, and I believe obviously age has a lot to do with it, especially coming back from a Achilles injury as an athlete. Number two, it worked out where Tatum was able to get surgery on the ruptured Achilles less than 24 hours after it happened. That apparently, combined with modern technology with these surgeries, sped up the process significantly. So it just so happened that that doctor that checked him out in New York had some free time the next day to do the surgery, and then he got the surgery done. So those are two things. And then it never made sense for Halliburton to come back, especially early in the year, but they had ruled him out for the whole season. The Pacers did in the summer before the season even started. And I mean, now it hasn't made sense for a while for him to even try and attempt to come
Yeah.
back because obviously the Pacers are in the dweller or in the cellar in terms of the Eastern Conference standings. Had the Celtics struggled a lot this year and been on the outside looking in on the playoff picture, I'd argue Tatum would still try and find a way to come back because he just always wants to play basketball, and that's the player he is. He just hates sitting out. Period. Good thing it doesn't come down to that, and yeah, he'll be back on a team that is currently in second place. And how fitting is it to have a rematch of the 2024 NBA Finals be his first game back this season against the team that we beat 2 summers ago?
Yeah, and again, if Tatum does come back tomorrow, we're gonna be doing a breaking news podcast about that because we made a breaking news podcast, I think the day after the Tatum injury. So we're it's gonna be crazy that we'll be doing a welcome back Tatum podcast. But on top of that, David, I just want to mention, and then we give our final thoughts. But I think it's smart, as you mentioned, we're coming into playoffs. This gives them some time to really rest. Like, you're going on a road trip, you could rest a little bit. No need to really stress out. Come off the bench. Do you think by playoff time? Because again, you still predicted that the first game you think he'll start to get that hurrah, but then come off the bench. Do you think if he does go the bench route, do you think when do you project him to start for the Celtics? Because I would say around playoffs, but I might even say not now this might be negative, but I think there's a good chance that Tatum doesn't even start for the rest of the season because you look at it, depends on how he is acclimating with the team, what he's doing. Because again, we talked about this last podcast. If on episode 88, if Jayson Tatum comes back and gives you 20 points off the bench, you'll take it. You'll take it. But what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think there's a world where he just doesn't start at all after that first game. I mean, Joe Mazzulla has a flair for the dramatic. He's classy like that. Like I remember, he he really cares about his players. Like I remember last year, I think we had a late season game, maybe in March against the Grizzlies, and Xavier Tillman got the start out of nowhere. Obviously, with Tillman, his former team, his first team in the NBA being the Grizzlies, and that was just a nice little classy move by Mazzulla doing that. I think all signs point towards Tatum starting tomorrow. I mean, I believe he came out with a commercial partnered with Amica Insurance where it ends with the PA announcer like announcing his return back to the starting lineup. I mean, it's only fitting that he's going to get that moment that he's been dreaming about for almost a year tomorrow. But Mazzola, the reason why I'm so um, convinced that he's going to be coming off the bench the rest of the season is because Missoula, there's more than meets the eye with the rotations for the Celtics when it comes to how Missoula goes about them. I think when we acquired Vucevic, we all thought he was going to start,
Mhm.
and then obviously he's had one start so far, and whatever it's been like 10-ish games with the Celtics, and he's been leading the bench unit. And I think that that's been a very smart move. This guy is in his mid 30s, and you want to keep him fresh, and not overuse him too much when we're going to need him for hopefully another deep playoff run. And I think a lot of similarities to that case with Vooch can be applied to Tatum, where yeah, he's 28 years old. He's one of the best players in the league, but he's coming back into a situation where there's a lot of pressure, not necessarily on Tatum, but just a lot of pressure on the team. I mean, we're 41 and 21. We're the second seed in the East, have a chance to go on another deep playoff run, and Tatum is coming back into it. And we've done all this without him so far. And I think what makes the most sense is the best of both worlds, having Tatum play 10 to 15 minutes off the bench to start the season, play no more than 20-ish minutes come playoffs. Like I think I said this on the podcast too. I don't care if we make it all the way to game 7 at the end of June of the NBA finals. Tatum should be playing no more than 20 minutes a game this season. And you should be able to get hopefully some sort of production, whether it shows up in the stat sheet or not, from Tatum in those 10, 15, 20 minutes you're getting from him. So I think the perfect situation is to give Tatum his moment tomorrow night, have him start, and then the rest of the way just have him lead up that bench unit. I mean, it's tempting to obviously put him in the starting lineup, given it's Jason freaking Tatum. Like obviously we want to have Jason Tatum starting, but I believe this is the correct route to go in order to get some production out of Tatum, but protect him and not, put too much pressure on him the rest of the way.
And you never know, David. It could be a possibility that Tatum does start for the remainder of the season. It'd be weird, but it could happen because you even saw like he was doing that commercial, his documentary in a viral clip. He was telling the doctor, "I don't want to be no role player." So who knows? I mean, do you think it's a possibility he does start? Like he starts his first game and continues to start?
For sure. I mean, honestly, I could probably be overthinking this whole thing, and he could just, log whatever it is, 21 starts to end the season, and he's just starting the whole way through. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting. I'm really, really intrigued to see how he fits into these rotations.
No matter what, though, I think he's on a heavily minutes restriction to start it off. I don't think you don't see Tatum off of a minutes restriction till playoffs, if that. I think he's going to be on a minutes restriction for a while, and that might even be coming off the bench. Maybe the coming off the bench would help him more, or a minutes restriction. Do you agree along those lines, though?
I do. So, what do you think in terms? What do you mean by heavy minutes restriction? Like, are you saying he plays 10 minutes tomorrow, 15 minutes max tomorrow?
I mean, maybe. It depends because this is the thing. This is the thing. The whole confusing part of this whole Tatum thing is we have very little information. Like, we haven't seen a 5-on-5 scrimmage of Tatum. I think it's very well possible if Tatum does come back tomorrow, he plays 10 to 15 minutes potentially.
That, that's
Um,
fine.
because we've just seen such a limited, like, even again, another plug for our episode 89 coming out a few hours after this. um go check it out with Spencer Martin. He talks about like Jayson Tatum and the main Celtics guys getting experience, but again, nothing really on the practice. Like, obviously he said they played against a guy like Jayson Tatum, but you know I'm not hearing anything. Like, the last time we heard something asking about Jayson Tatum to Joe Mazzulla, he just went silent. He didn't say anything. So, I mean, we don't know. I feel like it's very much so it could be like 10 to 15 minutes, but I think it gets up to like 20 something, maybe like 22 or something around those lines. Like, but I think tomorrow, his first day back, 10 to 15 minutes. Where are you along the lines of though?
I'm the same. Like for tomorrow, I'd be shocked if it's 15. I think it could be like 10 or 12. I mean, I don't. It's interesting. I mean, they're going to go with whatever the doctors say, but like, I've never, as a Celtics fan, dealt with, I mean, I don't know. Really, in sports, this doesn't happen too much where, a guy tears his Achilles and then less than a year later is coming back and,
Yeah.
is in a interesting position where he's expected to be a huge boost for a team in the playoffs. I mean, I don't know how you handle that, but like, you want to get his feet wet, but how much is getting his feet wet where his feet are damp, and how much of it is it just where his big toes are the only ones getting wet? So I don't know.
You're right.
It's interesting. Maybe
You're
like
right.
2 minute stints, 4
Yeah.
minutes.
I mean, it'll be interesting. You even saw the Giannis minute restriction. What was he at, like 20 minutes? And that was nearly as bad. So we could even see, like, again, like you mentioned, maybe he only plays like 16 minutes. Like maybe he's allowed 4 minutes per quarter or something. We don't know. We don't know. But that'll be interesting to talk about tomorrow and after, on the recap as well. Another plug, go check the recap after to see about the minutes restriction. I think tomorrow we're going to just be bursted. If Jayson Tatum does come back tomorrow, we're going to just be bursted with Jayson Tatum news, talking about minutes restriction, what his outlook looks like for the rest of the season. Do they play it by ear? I think tomorrow will be the day that we're just going to be bombarded with Tatum this, Tatum that. Do you agree though with that sense?
Oh, 100%. Tomorrow's might as well be called Jason Tatum Day tomorrow.
I agree. And for the Mainers, you gotta give them a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. Cooper Flag Day too, but mainly
Tatum
Jason Tatum
Day.
Day. Mainly Jason Tatum Day. It's so funny. Jason Tatum's taking this day from Cooper Flag. I gotta say, Cooper Flag's probably excited, but again, Cooper Flag gets to play in front of his fans and a idol in Jayson Tatum, who was his favorite player growing up watching. So, gonna be a surreal memory for Cooper Flagg too, and a memorable day. Memorable day.
It's a surreal feeling, to quote Jason Tatum.
It is a surreal feeling. But with that being said, do you have any final thoughts before we close out, David? Because again, not confirmed yet, but David's bet is yes, and my bet is absolutely. Like I'm so and I'm gonna be biting my words if this doesn't happen. But last night, I gotta tell you, when they were doing the recap after it, I was doing some stuff and for the graphics, and I put Tatum and Flag on there. So I have a weird feeling. I have a weird feeling, David. But any final thoughts before we close out?
I mean, it just feels like Christmas slash the trade deadline came late for the Celtics, like I talked about in my opening remarks. All these teams made flashy moves, but very well, Jason Tatum can end up being the best post trade deadline acquisition any team in the NBA has made. This just feels like one last ace the Celtics have up their sleeve. And I mean, we don't know. There's a lot of nervousness with how Tatum's going to be when he comes back, how he's going to play the rest of the way. But more so, I would say my nervousness is trumped by my excitement. So,
Mhm.
I hope he plays tomorrow. And this is a moment we've been waiting for a while. So it's gonna be exciting.
Well said, David. Well said. And you guys, I will provide a lot of thoughts for you. If Tatum does come back, we'll expect episode 90 tomorrow, regardless. But if Tatum does come back tomorrow, expect it being a Tatum episode. It will be, I think, regardless, but tomorrow will be a tribute to him. So make sure to tune in tomorrow for episode 90. But with that being said, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe and turn on post notifications to be notified every time we upload. We will see you guys for the next one, and make sure to stay tuned for the upcoming podcast today. Won't want to miss it with the main Celtics broadcaster and episode 90 tomorrow and the recap. So thank you guys for watching. We will see you guys with the next one. Peace, you guys.